So I'm coming at you from quarantining myself against coronavirus. Unless you're living in Antarctica or under a rock, you probably know about COVID-19, just a casual global pandemic that is affecting kind of all of us right now. Okay, so because of COVID-19, most schools, most universities worldwide, most companies, many places are closing. Because of this, most teaching has suddenly been forced to adapt to like an online method of teaching. I've been really intrigued to see how schools and universities are dealing with this. So I put out on my Instagram, like, how are you getting teaching right now? Like, how is your education happening? I got responses from all over the world. It kind of looks like mainly Zoom, Google Hangouts. Sometimes it's literally just the PowerPoint that people get sent. Some people haven't even got an education format happening right now. Maybe you're confused, maybe you're scared, maybe you're trying to work out how the hell you can still learn, especially if you've got big exams this year, which is how I somehow come into this. If you don't know who I am, hi, my name is Jade, I'm from the UK, I'm 19. I go to a university that is online out of choice. So my education at my university right now is exactly the same, like it's unaffected. But because of this, I really do want to help you if you feel that confusion, that fear, that like weirdness about your education right now, because I had to adapt to using an online platform. Ours is a bit different. Our university doesn't use like Zoom, it has its own thing called the Active Learning Forum. And because it's designed for online education, it does have more capabilities. I'll kind of allude to it throughout the video. But yeah, I want to make this as general as possible. If you're feeling lost, I really hope this can help. More general advice. I will also leave some links in the description. But yeah, a lot of the advice in this video is also compiled from many students at my university and just how they cope with online learning. Also, if you're watching this from quarantine, hey, please comment down below, self-isolation. Okay, so I've separated this video into themes based off of what people have been asking me questions about over on my Instagram. The first topic is learning community. Obviously, you don't have a physical classroom, you don't have that person sat next to you, you can't just raise your hand and a teacher come over and help you. It might just be you in your bedroom with a screen and you can kind of see everyone, you might see the teacher, but it does feel kind of weird. So the first thing that I recommend is having a chat. If you're using Zoom, it already has that chat capability, but I think you should really be proactive in using that chat to like ask the teacher questions or like clarify if you don't understand, because everyone in the class can see it. Other people can answer you with your confusions. You can give feedback based on what people have said, and generally, as long as it's a chat that like all the students can see and the teacher can see, it kind of like regulates itself. So if you know the teacher's seeing it, people hopefully don't just sit there and like mess around with it. Which is a really good point, because going online is like, some people will view this as a great opportunity to just DOS their education, do nothing, sit there by a screen, just go on their phone all the time, which is why you do have to make this kind of conscious choice. Do you want to make the effort to learn? And I do think online learning forces you to make that choice more consciously. But yeah, if you're here to learn, a chat is super helpful. The second to go along with that is actually listen to what is being said by the teacher or by classmates, or if someone, I don't even know how you're going to indicate to raise a hand. Maybe you can like at the teacher and be like, hey, I have a question. They'll like share the screen with you and allow you to come on. But listen, engage, asking those questions keeps you in the framework of the classroom. My third tip is to encourage your teacher to allow you to do some kind of breakout groups or group work, so that it's not just you listening to a lecture like the whole time, like it's just someone going through a PowerPoint. If you have the capability, it could be really cool if the teacher's like assigned you a partner or a group in the lesson, and then you have a mutual Google Doc that you work on. So for example, the task might be to discuss and compare the advantages and disadvantages of something they've just introduced. You could work on a Google Doc in the group you've been assigned, and you can all like contribute, write, chat about it, and then come back into the large classroom on Zoom. This just makes it more active and interesting, because I know that motivation can be so much more difficult, especially if you're just passively absorbing information. A fourth thing to instigate the whole learning community thing is try and ask your teacher to have like unstructured time at the start of a class. For example, you come into Zoom 10 minutes early, and for those 10 minutes, you can just ask your teacher how the day's been. The teacher can just have a general chat, like, hey, how are you feeling about everything right now? And just having that ability to be more informal like you would in a normal classroom, I think helps the overall dynamic and makes you feel less alone. Finally, number 5 is you can ask your teacher to do virtual office hours if necessary. This is something we employ. If I have a question, I will either stay behind at the end of the call. So like when the teacher's like, oh, oh, class is dismissed, you don't have to like jump out straight away. You can hang around for a bit more, clarify, ask questions, but maybe encourage your teacher to have a scheduled time where you can drop in and have a call with them if you want to discuss anything further, if you want to be set more readings because you got more time, anything like that. But it's so much up to your proactivity. Okay, the second kind of theme is challenges within this. I've also been reading a lot of threads of teachers and lecturers who have gone onto this online format and the challenges they've been having. One of the main things is a lot of the in-person casual conversations, the unstructured stuff, doesn't really translate very well to online formats. You do need some kind of structure to make the class just work, I guess. For example, in the online classes I have, at the start we have a very quick poll, kind of like a test. So we're set pre-readings before class, we engage with the readings, and then we get some kind of question. And it could be cool if in your class you can suggest this to your teacher, like, hey, can we do some kind of question at the start that we all discuss? Just gets everyone active instead of just like watching. Then it could be like the teacher teaching something, then you can like do some kind of group work activity or like hand raising, Q&A. And again, at the end, it could be really cool to have some kind of like final question or thing to think about. Second challenge is it's a lot harder to see people's reactions and body language, facial communication. In our classes, we actually have emojis, so I can like agree with something by like putting up something that will look like this. I can like put a smiley face, sad face, confused face if I want clarification. Obviously, a lot of platforms aren't optimized for this yet. Again, I think just really use that chat facility to communicate how you're feeling, like, oh, great point at this person. I think if you're struggling with things like Zoom to do like maths or more structured science stuff, you can look into screen sharing or tablets or whiteboards that the teacher can work on and you can watch alongside. You can also make notes in real life, anything to kind of facilitate that more structured learning. Okay, a whole new branch of challenges is distractions. As I said, online learning requires a lot more of you being willing to learn. Before class, be strict. Turn off your notifications, turn off your phone, get rid of it. Close all your other apps, commit to being in that classroom. Use website blockers if you have to. Make your class full screen or split screen with like your notes. So like you can have a Google Doc with notes from class. Raise your hand, ask questions, be active. Just try and stay in the zone of the class. And I know that can be hard, especially if you're finding the content boring or if the teacher is just not that engaging or still working out things. Also be super active in giving them feedback, because I think teachers just need it right now. Like they're trying to figure out how to do this too. Also feel free to like get up and stretch halfway through class. We have a 1 minute eye rest break every class. I get up, I stretch, I look away, I talk to someone random. Okay, new theme is health. Obviously being on your computer all day is not ideal. For eyesight, I highly recommend you get Flux. The white light that a computer emits can be really damaging for your sleep cycle. It's just not great for your eyes. Flux just regulates that white light. It kind of makes it more orangey as night progresses. For your neck and overall posture, get a laptop stand. I use this one, which I'll link in the description. I love it. It's super easy, foldable, has saved me. Also for posture, you can alternate standing and sitting during class, that you can find a high ledge, like in your kitchen or something, just like prop your laptop up, why not? And then stand for a bit of class. For wrist pain, you can alternate writing physical notes, writing notes to a Google Doc. You can even dictate your notes to a Google Doc, like via audio. You can use the Pomodoro Technique to intensely focus, give yourself a little bit of a break. Just make sure you are resting if you're going to be working a lot online, like doing assignments. And finally, try not to take class in bed. I think most people here are in agreement. If you take class from bed, which is very tempting to do, you kind of are in this weird, lazy mindset. It's nice for a moment, but ultimately it's kind of like bad for your back. Like your sleep schedule kind of can get messed up. Really try and make an effort to separate the space that you're going to take your classes and do work and the space that is yours to just chill. I think that's so important for your mental health and your motivation. For example, my room is where I chill. I'm with my roommates, I'm just chatting, I'm loving life. I'll go downstairs to like the dining room table or something if I want to take class. And finally, mindset. I think this is probably the most important part of the whole video. This online class thing is so reliant on you, kind of scarily so. If you want to not pay attention, you really can very easily not pay attention, especially while they're working out how to make this online thing more active instead of just you passively listening. In being proactive, you can do some reading before class so that when you're in class, you can like super engage well, you can ask like actually interesting questions. Make use of the fact that you have Google there. During class, if you don't understand something, you can also like look up keywords, like Google diagrams. You can't always do that in a normal classroom, you can't just get out your phone. So that's kind of cool. You can be proactive in going beyond during class. That also doesn't really interrupt the class flow, which is good. Also really crucial to mindset, Dress like you would for a normal class. If you're in your pajamas, you will feel in this lazy, weird state. Google it, it's a real psychological thing. Dress well, you'll be in a better zone. Really quick, more general tips. Mute yourself when not talking, especially if there's like 100 people in the class. Like ours are automatically muted, but I've been on Zoom before and I know that sometimes when you enter, it's not automatically on mute. And then you got this background noise, it's horrible, like no. Also invest in like a decent microphone. I think everyone in the class will benefit from it as well. Again, I'll link some in the description, cheap ones that are also good. Arrive to class like at least 5 minutes early, because sometimes you have issues finding the link and you're faffing around, you're stressing, you've missed class. Just like hold yourself accountable. Like this is your education and you kind of want to make the most out of it, even if coronavirus is like nah. And as I kind of mentioned, if your teacher is struggling with things like the tech and just how to facilitate, be really proactive in facilitating, like give them advice, help them. If they're struggling to make notes and talk to the class, be like, oh hey, I'll make notes on the shared Google Doc while you continue to like describe this concept. At the end of the day, you can choose to listen, you can choose to ask questions, you can choose to provide feedback, or you can be passive and learn a lot less. It's kind of your choice. Even though the structure of my education is very different, there are a lot of general online university concepts here. So yeah, I really hope this helps. If you're scared, if you're stressed about COVID-19, I'm sending a lot of love to you across the pond because it's a scary time for everyone. I watched over 50 of my friends leave in the last like day and a half, so it's kind of hitting me hard too. Any questions you have, please leave it in the comments. I really hope this helped. Also, let me know more about how exams are going to go, homework, that kind of thing, and if I can do anything transferable, I'll make another video. Bye!